Will you stand? Pledge, please. Praise God, our Heavenly Father, as we quiet our hearts this day rather, and come before you, we want to thank you for all your many, many blessings, how you watch over us, and Lord, I personally thank you for that, Lord, for all you've done for me. We ask that you'll be with our first responders. We lift them up to you. I ask you to be, Lord, with our people in the courthouse, protect them, put your hand of guidance over them. And Heavenly Father, we ask that you'll give us the knowledge and wisdom today to make the best decisions for our county. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
To the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All three of us is present here today. Lauren and Luke's here, and call the meeting to order. The agenda, you got anything?
The only thing is adding the 1:30 appointment. I think everything else was on the original agenda.
Seen the appointments, it wasn't for you. I want you to know that, so, when I said that statement. Good to have you.
Is that about animal control issues or?
I don't really know.
I don't know either. Okay, correspondence. We've got the sheriff's report here. And the way it looks, we're about out of money, right? No, I'm just picking on you, Joel. Huh?
Doing my best.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I did have something to add to the agenda.
you do?
Yeah. Can we add, under old business, Peach Festival?
And,
Electrical update.
yeah,
Sorry, I forgot.
also under old business, the walkie-talkie money that the New Creek Valley
It's
Board,
on there.
it is on there?
It's
Yes.
the excess levy distribution.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and, I forgot to ask, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved with the changes. I second it.
And I approve that also. Okay. We'll go down through, the correspondence here. We got the sheriff's report here in front of you. Then we got Raleigh Moore. Here,
I have not had a chance to watch the video from the last meeting, so I'm just kind of picking up. I've seen something on there about next meeting, so I carried that one as a carryover. Have you guys discussed?
no, we haven't discussed nothing. I don't know what.
Yeah, you all asked me to put the veteran, to do an application for the Veterans Memorial Wall.
for
But I didn't.
Yeah, for that.
I was just gonna send
Are they in, what else is this Raleigh Moore? Is that what that's for?
that's what that would be.
Yeah,
Okay,
Eileen's working on that.
We don't need to carry that over or anything?
No, because they'll have to be submitted before the next meeting. I would say maybe just because the correspondence was here, I don't know.
okay.
I just seen there, like I said, I haven't gone through my notes or watched the video yet, so where I'm picking up. So the other thing out of old business was the electrical update. Did you guys check that?
so of course we approved helping the Beach Festival with their electrical, which will end up being, this equipment will end up being at the fairgrounds, for the fairgrounds. But Beach Festival is one more electrical service to supply vendors, more especially the food vendors. So been working with Cannons, getting the materials, and we first thought the materials was gonna be through the roof, and then we thought we got a really good price, and here was somebody fat fingered a number, and so it was, we ended up over, I think it's around $11,000 total. However, we agreed to $4,000, and I have a quote here. This will cover everything. My understanding, this will cover everything except for the electrical wire. The electrical wire is what's really expensive. So this is a quote from Cannons for $3,873.18. And we have already made a motion to approve the money, approve $4,000. I would like for us to just go ahead and write a check to Cannons for $3,873.18
We can take care of
to
it.
cover the materials.
Do I have a motion, or would Dutch made the motion?
Second.
and I approve that also.
Is that in addition to the 4,000? Oh, okay.
That's, that'll be our share,
Oh,
our 2,000
okay.
share.
And then Parks will cut a check for
A thousand.
873 or 12,000.
Well, that's what they agreed to
Okay,
anyway.
okay.
So I mean, what do you guys want to do? Let Parks get by with the 8, or you want them to cut a check for
Or
1,000?
you guys can just cut a check for 28 and she could do the other 1,000.
Yeah, that's, how we want to do it.
However you wanna do it.
What's the easiest to do? How does the easiest to pay that? Let her make a check to Cannons, and you cut a check to Cannons also, or you cut a check to you, which is easiest? So,
For 1, 6, and another, no matter, so
Parks and Rec, just
we'll figure
reimburse
it out,
the
we
county.
did it.
Yeah,
paid.
just have Rick-
We did it paid.
all right, let them
But you still
reimburse
want
you.
Parks to pay 1,000,
Yeah,
okay,
Whatever.
Okay.
the
yeah,
rest
just have
of-
Parks reimburse you, we'll write the check for the whole thing.
okay.
I'm good with whatever you want to do. Now, this Congressman Riley Moore, do you need him back on the agenda for next week?
No, you all told me what's a platform. I've got all these working on.
So everything's good. Okay, good deal. Okay, new business. Approve the lady levy.
Okay, you got a copy of it right there with the rates, and First General County is the.
Give that to-
14,
You need that.
3.0, and then we have the fire department levy at 2.0 and ambulance at 0.79. They're back, you got
All
the,
right.
Yeah.
We just need a motion, right?
I'm reading over here real quick. Total value of our revenue is 1 billion, a little over $1 billion. You guys must have done quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah. It's almost $1.3 billion.
Almost 1.1 its county is 1.297.265.077. 265,267,077. So you guys must own a lot. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the levy?
I'll make a motion to approve the levy. I second
And I approve that also.
now I'll send this to the state as soon as I get back.
Okay, good deal. I know party flashes having theirs this evening at 4 o'clock. So. Budget revision here.
Okay, so the first, y'all have the budget revision in front of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so starting at the top, the first thing is to correct the carryover balance, which was caught with the audit. We use an unassigned fund balance instead of the actual carryover, so that added 309. Then with the property tax, I went ahead and increased that with my tax collection, the federal grants and state grants increased those. Now down at the bottom, these are the expenditures. I added another 13,000 to the county commission to pay for the audits because we had the 23 audit. Then we had the compliance audit, and then we also had the 24 audit coming out. So with two different audits coming out, we needed to add 13,000 to that. The 442 federal grants dropped that by 140,000 since we're not doing the amphitheater, because then more or less you put that 150,000 into the sheriff's overtime. State grants increased that by 52,000 to cover the cost of the high density shelving. 448, adding 2,500. That was due to the increase in utilities and some comax. 698, that increase of 442 was to cover the loan payments till June. 700, the 552,988. So 12 of that is to cover Roger Reel's cost to install the cameras and cages and radios into the new units, because that actually needs to come out of 700, not 980, because it's professional services. And then the other 41,988 or 188 was to cover the access controls and the security cameras that were put in on the law enforcement building in June and July. Well, July,
What line is that one?
700.
Thank you.
It says access control cameras and new units. I try to put a little explanation just because so you can follow through. Now, the dog, that was an increase due to the salary increase with salary and benefit increase. 730, adding 12 to that line item for the 3 months of the new hire to cover salary and benefits. 800, health department, add 60,000. Those are the cashier invoices for the renovations at the health department, but then the health department is reimbursing us.
Right.
But we did not have that set up in that line item because we didn't know we were gonna be paying them out of there.
We have all of those except for the final one.
Final one, yeah,
So would that,
6,775.
show up in revenues then?
Yes, we'll also get it the revenue. But we haven't gotten all of them yet.
Okay.
980, this is, we're increasing that 58,000. This will cover the, outstanding Motorola invoices, the payoff, which I need to be corrected on that, because the last meeting, last meeting I was at, I said the payoff was, we owed 22, but we actually owe 42, we actually owe 2 years.
How come that was, 2 years? How come that was held?
It's not held, we're gonna pay it off.
Yeah, I know,
early.
but why, if it was held 2 years, you said it was held 2 years?
It's not due until 2027. We're just paying it
We're
off.
paying it off early,
Oh, okay.
yes, and the payoff was actually in here.
It was
We're
just, we
paying
just
it off
signed
early and getting it
that way
done,
we're out.
Yeah, good.
because we have the new bill coming in, so we're just getting it taken care of,
And we just, it was
wiping
like,
the slate clean.
it was like 15, I can't remember, the Motorola one was 15.
There's
One was
another
15.
one,
Yeah, there was two.
1900 or something like that.
The cameras we bought, we had to pay off the old ones still?
we still owe on the old ones.
I thought that was part of that deal, was there wouldn't be a payoff.
Well, they
on the
gave
old
a
ones.
$55,000 incentive and a $12,000 incentive by signing that contract. So it's kind of,
Okay.
and we still have the credit, so Motorola's more or less given us a pretty good deal on that end of it, but we still owe US Bank for the old ones. Because it was, instead of financed through Motorola, for whatever reason, it went through US Bank. So we need to get them taken care of, so we're not paying these finance charges.
Yeah, I thought we had it all taken care of last fall, when we talked about the US Bank stuff and the middle big reimbursement.
Well, we were dealing with the credit and we were dealing with the payoff. Now, we didn't get a payoff back then. And then, of course, every time you go to pay off, you have to call for another payoff. So we actually called for to have one for last Tuesday, but we didn't get it. But she did actually get a payoff yesterday, and it's good through Friday. So we're gonna get that cut today and out to get it done. I can pull it in here. I think it's like
And that
42,000.
58 's to cover that. 43
Cover the
and
difference,
15.
yeah, that will, cover the expenses on the, all of the equipment yet needed for the new Tahoes, the last, the monthly loan payment for the Tahoes. It'll pay for the cameras, the old Motorola, the new Motorola, the rifles, the, pistols, the suppressors, and I guess there's like 158,000 yet to come out.
Yeah.
But there's already still 120 in there, 100.
Is that working with you, Joe?
Well, when I had that 120,000 and I deducted everything that we had looked into, got approved to purchase, it still had a remaining balance of 20 some thousand. And my understanding is 58 is to cover,
Well, everything I listed would be 35,000 and then add an extra 20 to that, make it 58. For what we talked about the other day.
But everything's gonna
Yeah.
be taken care of, right?
as far as that, and my only concern was that the budget revision didn't take anything out of what I currently had in my line. item.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, they're adding another 58 to cover
Well,
that.
I see that, but
Yeah.
Now, I do
And
have,
another 52-year law enforcement line item too. Which I believe Rogers Professional Services were included in 980, but really should come out of 700.
but this here about you said the $150,000 there for the federal grant, we get 140,
We budgeted
Well,
150.
50 for the sheriff's department.
No, we budgeted 150 for the amphitheater, but then with the
Yes,
land water concert, but you're not doing that.
we're not doing that.
So we went ahead and took that 140 that was budgeted and went ahead and put it back in the pot. Because you guys already approved
We're-
100.
we're- Yeah, but it's not gonna be added to the 150,000.
It's already done. It was done in a previous budget revision. The 150 that you gave him for overtime was
Yeah.
done in budget revision number
Okay.
3.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question about that.
Was that back in January?
That is,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was
I don't think the
February,
budget
January
revision was
sometime.
done till like February though.
But
Well, I got approached the other day. I don't know if this is a good time to bring this up, but I'm going to, because since this is on here. I got approached the other day in our Parks and Rec meeting about trying to get the ground up there where Aging and Family Services are. Did I talk to you a little bit about that?
Cody mentioned it.
Cody, maybe, okay, I talked to Cody about it. And,
Where's this crowd at?
it's up there, right, if you go up 220, it's right behind Truist Bank. That field right in there behind
Okay.
Truist Bank. They would like to build a center for for the children in the area, so they'd have a place in the wintertime and stuff to go to. Now, Aging and Family Services is supporting that. Parks and Rec said they would support it. They're gonna try to get a hold of the city of Kaiser if they won't support it, but the thing of it is, it's gonna cost a lot of money to build a building, so if they want it. I don't know if we can afford it.
Right now, we cannot.
I-
If we
I
don't have a carryover of 1.4, we're gonna be cutting everybody's budget.
I agree with what
So
you're
until we
saying.
see what our carryover is, we are tight.
So I'm gonna talk to Louis about this and tell him right now ours is on hold, because we don't,
We only got a couple months, I mean.
yeah,
first-
yeah.
I had worked out with Aging and Family Services to buy that property once before
Yeah,
at cost, what they paid for it, and they were gonna do a 10-year lease, and then we would just pay no interest, like $16,000 a year.
it
for
wasn't
10
that
years.
much. It wasn't, it was a good, very good price, but nobody wanted to buy it.
Because it's in a flood zone.
Well, all of it's not in the flood zone. Yeah, the front part would be where you could use for parking, but the back part where the building would go is not in the flood zone.
You're talking $1 million easy for a building
Oh,
like
every bit
that.
of it.
Oh, yes,
Easy.
well, that
Perf
one,
is 200,000 or 300,000.
well, the one, AJ's building is a lot more than that. Yeah. That's they run into some other issues. with that.
It's a great, it'd be awesome. We've talked about it a lot, but I don't know.
I don't
I
think
don't know how we
it's
can
gonna
make
fly.
it feasible.
I don't either.
And then the very last line item, that was, I just put the remaining balance under other buildings. That's where we've been putting everything for the improvement project. Any questions on these revisions? More detail needed on any of them?
I'm good with her. Are you good with it? Just covering a lot of your stuff? You guys got any questions?
But this doesn't affect our next year budgets and how we based our next year.
No, this is
budget.
just for the current year, yeah.
Well, we based our current year, our budget off the current year, so that it mess up the numbers for next year.
Well, we're basing, on our projected revenues for
Right.
next year. And then we're hoping for that 1.4 carryover. If we don't have the 1.4 carryover, then we have to look at our whole budget.
Okay, therefore, no raises.
No, we don't have money.
I know.
It is good tight, that, I gotta think about about that building. I don't think for it.
There a motion on the budget revision? You guys-
Do I hear a motion for the budget revision? To approve it?
I'll make a motion, we approve the budget revision
And the resolution.
and the resolution.
Is this the resolution on this page?
No, I have it.
That's
I didn't print, but it's printed.
What does the resolution say?
It just says that you're approving the budget revision.
I second it.
And I approve that also. Okay. All right. Partial dispersed. Disbursement for county levy.
We have a 115 appointment.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sally.
What?
You're up. You come up
She wasn't
here.
at the meeting
I
anyway.
wasn't even,
He was in another world.
so was I. I've been in another world for a while.
Oh, thanks.
I don't need that anymore.
Okay. In a couple months you will.
Well, yeah, but we'll get it back.
We'll keep it for you.
Are we good?
We're good.
Good, great.
You know, when I come in with just a few pieces of paper,
Yeah,
we're
a
good.
smile on your face, yes.
Ah. Okay, so I think everybody knows who I am. I don't really need to introduce myself, but I'm Sally Martin from the State Auditor's Office. And I audited, your financial statements for your governmental activities, the aggregate discretely presented component unit, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information for fiscal year 2024. As part of that audit, I also audited Parks and Rec and the Farmland Protection Board. And we also did a single audit, which tests the compliance requirements of your federal grants. And the grant that I had to test was the American Rescue Plan Act. So your opinion on the financial statements was unmodified, so that's good, that's what we want. I didn't have any single audit findings, so there wasn't any issues with any of the, single audit stuff. All the compliance requirements were met. And I did have some findings, and I think they. Some of them were repeat findings. So I'm just gonna go over them briefly. I had the remittance of fees collected for the county clerk's office, which is a repeat finding. And Lauren is working on trying to get her reports done on time.
This month was on time, by the way.
We had a major fund classification where the USDA project fund wasn't identified as a major fund on the county financial statements. This was also a repeat finding from 2023. In the prior year, there was a formula error in the worksheet that the financial statement preparer used. This year, she actually had it identified as a major fund, but still didn't have it included on her financial statement as a major fund. But I think we've got that straightened out now as well. I showed Lauren the worksheet and how it would work and all that, so I think we're good there. I had a finding for the circuit clerk's account balance list, which is also a repeat finding. And, they have actually received a judge's order to release that money that's been sitting in their account. And I also talked to them about making sure that they were printing their report on time. Because I think some of the problem that I was seeing with that office is they were not running. So the account balance list is basically, they have money in their account that they're holding for bonds or for waiting on a judge's order for settlement or whatever. And they have to know who that money belongs to. So they have a list that says they're holding it for Sally Martin, they're holding $50,000. And the list that they were giving me, they were running like the day I asked for it. But their system doesn't work that way. Their system looks like it's giving you a date as of, June 30th. If you ask it for June 30th, it says that it's from July 1st to June 30th. But it doesn't go back and recreate as of that date. It just gives you the information that falls within that time period as of today's date. So when they were running the report, like they weren't running it until like I asked for it. So that, like they ran it in March of 2025 or June of 2024, but anything that they paid out between June 30th of 2024 and March when they ran it isn't going to show on that report. So their report is showing that they might have, I don't know, $30,000, but really they have 130 in their bank account. So that's a material difference because they're not identifying who that money belongs to. So I did talk to them to make sure they understood that they need to run that report as of June 30th. So that it's accurate. So I think that's probably some of our problem. And then the fact that they were holding some money that needed to go away and they have gotten the judge's order now to release that money. So she was hoping to get that done in April. And get that cleaned up. So hopefully going forward, that's not gonna be an issue as well. And then we had some over expenditures of the amounts allocated in the levy estimate for the general fund. And I think Lauren has pretty much identified what most of them were.
And tried to do a detail of what most of it was due to the improvement project. But some of it was just an oversight.
But that's unusual for, like, you guys are usually pretty good about looking at your budgets and knowing and checking them stuff. So I think that is a lot of what happened. There's just stuff was paid out right at the end of, in July for stuff that happened in June and it just.
There's not a whole lot you can do about some of that.
Right, and your last budget revision is what, June 15th? So anything that happens from June 15th to June 30th, you can't, if you overspend something, you can't really fix it because you can't do another budget revision. So
Right.
I'm not super concerned about the overages, and it didn't make your entire levy overexpended. It was just certain line items that were overexpended. So I think we're good there. It's just, they ended up being a material amount in total, so I had to do a finding. But really, that's all I have. Everything looked good. I know we went through it really fast. You have awesome employees. Everybody got everything ready for me, had it waiting, and when I asked for something, they like dropped what they were doing for the most part and like dealt with me knowing we had a deadline and especially in the middle of all the move and everybody trying to find stuff, so.
That created chaos, I know, for Lauren, trying to keep.
Yeah.
When she first came in, the boxes were still in the middle of the floor, and I was like, oh lordy. But by the time she actually got over there, we had a lot of it put away.
Yeah, so I do really appreciate all of your employees. They're awesome.
We got some good.
We do. I couldn't have got my audit done without them, like, doing what they did, so I appreciate it. And Luke being available after hours on Monday, the 31st, to certify to the federal government, so we got it done on time, so. It was awesome, so.
Okay,
Does anybody have any questions for me, anything that? And the audit, I know you probably haven't got the audit report from the office yet, but it is available online. So if you go to the West Virginia State Auditor's Office, under the box that says Chief Inspector Division, there's a search thing there and you can go pull in your audits.
I emailed it to all of you guys.
Oh, okay, you did already pull it,
First, I did
okay,
see that. I don't know if I definitely sent the commissioners that email.
okay, yeah, I did an exit earlier and that he said it was online, but it wasn't, he hadn't received
well,
it yet,
I'll
so,
tell you how much trust I put in you. I don't look at it every year,
okay.
so I put a lot of trust in you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that you put trust in me, but I am human, I do make
Well-
mistakes.
That's something everybody should learn. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, it's really annoying sometimes when you're looking at your prior year and you find a spelling mistake or something that didn't get caught. Like, dang it.
There's only one individual that never made a mistake. And you know what they done to him?
Yeah,
Crucified him. Sad.
yeah, so we try to produce a good audit, we try to make sure that we've documented everything and backed everything up and checked everything that we're supposed to, so.
Now, since we're good, do we get a discount?
I mean, I have no control
I had to
over
do that. I
that.
know.
Was like, oh, I came to work one day at 10 o'clock and I got, wow, you're showing up late today. I said, I was here till 2 o'clock this morning. And he said, oh, no wonder the county doesn't have any money. And I said, I didn't pay the same regardless of how many hours I work. It's just the same fee. So you're benefiting from me being here at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So now, do we have to take action on this report?
You do not,
We do not?
no.
I can't remember from one.
Well, when you actually get the audit report, then I think you recorded in the record or something maybe, but I'm just an information.
I couldn't remember if we took a action.
You don't have to.
I got a lot of them. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I'm just here to tell you, as a formality basically of what I did, what happened, what I saw, if there was any issues or not. And if you had any questions for me to be able to answer. So if you don't have any questions.
I don't. Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work, Tom.
Thank you. Keep up the good work too. If you can talk to the auditor and get us a discount, it'd be great.
All right, I'll try.
No, I'm just teasing.
I have told them, it always cracks me up because Karen emails me or calls me, it's like, hey, is this price okay? Yeah, yeah, like, what do you want me to say, Karen? No, it's not okay? Like, come back to me with a discount.
You have the right to do that.
Yeah.
You have the right to say like, no, I think that's too high, like, can we? I mean, we're kind of limited in what we can do to help. As I do have to have enough hours to actually be able to do an audit, but you're within your rights to say, can we work on this?
Yeah.
Can we lower this at all?
Well, I know we pay for other our component unit audits and the big audit's not really that expensive compared to what we pay for 4 hours worth of work, like the ambulance authority and stuff.
You've been here for a long time.
16 years.
No, I'm talking about just for this audit. You've been in the office back here quite a while you had a helper back here.
I had two, actually. I switched them out in the middle, yeah. And Katie's already left her office. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we've already had one up, well, the one was in training and she's already quit.
Gee whiz.
We can't keep people.
Well, I also want to say we appreciate you because every year you learn. And
Yes.
hopefully we're improving a little.
You definitely are. I mean, when I look back at how it was back when I first did this audit the first year, we've come a long way. Yeah, the first year I did the audit, I didn't even have financial statements.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be safe on your
And
travel.
everybody has all my contact information, so if you need me for anything.
Thank you. Appreciate it last week.
Thank you. Be safe in your travel.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Yeah, Valley, it's 1:30. You have an appointment?
Yeah, I don't have all the information, he's not here yet, but it's gonna be short this week.
Okay.
I'll just take care of the rest of it next week. Yeah, am I supposed to sit up here or up
Yeah,
there?
wherever you're comfortable,
Whatever's easiest. for you.
wherever you're comfortable, Sally. If you're comfortable sitting up here, come on up.
I don't wanna look like someone preaching. What is that supposed to preach, you know?
Well, you can go around and give a sermon. There's nothing wrong with
Hey,
that.
I'm
My wife preaches to me every day.
I get it,
I
yes.
believe God Jesus Christ, that's all I need to know. He is the best and hey, how are you doing? Listen, first I want to tell you, animal control person, thank you. We had an issue with animals in Fort Ashby.
Yeah, she was down there this morning.
Yeah, there's an area over to the left where man's been, had those for years, but then now he's got, yeah. And it's been, I must have called her a million times, and so because he's like, people like it. And I've got several pictures of there, he's just a fruit piled up, you know, he used to always get rid of it, but he's getting older. Like too big pile, and because they were hungry, they got on top of fires trying to make fire the pieces, you know. And that's enough to just break the heart, you know what I mean? And I mean, I would not, I'd be glad to help him if he needs help, you know, but he has no grass there, all right? No grass whatsoever. He puts hay, and when he throws it up, that's what happens. And he keeps adding to his block. I don't know if somebody's taking advantage of him, keeps adding, because he has like, well, 4 meter those great big black ones, what do they call it? Stannis. Yeah, and then there's also like 4 little cats he brought. They're, you know, what you call it, black, I forgot the name.
The black angus.
Yeah, the ones they read, because Don and Donnie at Brookdale told me they're really expensive.
On the
But-
prom board.
Yeah, and but he also got a book with it, because that thing was compared to teeth, and I couldn't believe it. I'm sorry to say that, but everybody, he doesn't eat any more animals there. So give her a thank you for me, okay? And if you run across anybody, I was asking Rick, it's hard to find somebody up there that takes care of farm animals in the government, all right? I did find some last in Moorefield, okay? That's funny. And, I had 2 FOIA requests that haven't been answered yet. So, both were past 30 days.
Where did you turn them in?
I turned them in 2 months ago.
Oh, did you
The
turn them
ones
into
you
Laura?
sent in to me.
One was for, that was that one question regarding infertility, you're supposed to get back with the answer, okay? Why I wasn't selected, and why I brought it up, some person got it the very next meeting. That's, you know, you can certainly can do that, and the other one is, I asked, it was, I don't know if I sent it to the wrong place or what, regarding Laren Park, okay? Laren Park, what I wanted to know was it inspected by somebody, did they say it was bad, how much money we spent down there? You know, what was she having?
I've not seen the FOIA request you're referring to, but what's the question?
Did you have someone inspect the park, how much money we spent down there?
At the park?
You mean the house that was torn down?
No, the whole mess.
Is
The
Cody
whole
here?
thing.
Did you tear down all the seats in there too? Oh, yeah, right?
The amphitheater?
Yeah.
How much we spent tearing it down?
Everything, yeah,
How
did
much
somebody
are they
inspect it
spending?
also?
You want me to get Cody? Could she answer something?
No, I did it all.
Yeah, he just
Oh,
did it all the right way, I mean, I'm not asking about your way.
The tear down was approximately $15,000.
And it
I can
was,
get you the exact price.
so what, did it, I mean, someone inspected it, right, they said, wasn't it good or what?
Oh, it was off. It wasn't safe.
Well, I know, but a lot of times some things can be safe, I'm not a builder, but
We,
I just asked if he had. it.
I mean, our former commission president's was a commercial, has been a commercial.
Yeah.
contractor for years, and he looked at it, we all looked at
It
it.
was a
I know,
mess.
Jerry,
Like, there's not a,
well, I'm just saying.
I mean, it was looked at heavily before it was torn down. There was
I
definitely no
didn't know there
safety.
was an official one.
Valley, I want to tell you.
No, we didn't pay for
something.
it.
I'm not professional
Oh,
contract.
why not, you know, with it.
But let me share something with you, what we're looking at. I'm, when it comes to certain things, I'm not as dumb as I look.
No one said you weren't.
But, let me, they put tracks down, well, let me tell you, let me tell you what made it unsafe. One of the things that I seen that was not good. They put Trex down on the floor. You know what Trex lumber is? When you put Trex down, you're supposed to have it, I think is it 12 inch? It's
I don't
12,
remember, but it was way
it
too
was
far.
2 foot between the bottom floor joists. That's a no-no. And when you step on them, I mean, it was springy, you get down. If a couple of people would have to step on there kind of hard, you'd go through the floor. It wasn't safe.
But who's been asking this question, a lot of people have been asking, they don't
Yeah.
come to me, and I wanna know why.
Well, that's one of the reasons, and it was a mess over there. Was you up and looked at it?
I have been over there, okay, and I tended away, not wanting to just where you pull it up.
Yeah, it was,
Lisa.
did you walk on the floor?
Well, I walked down at the steps. You
Yeah.
know, what I call to the wedding, so I had to wait. Now, she painted all the benches in there. She asked the county for money. She got permission to paint the whole place inside for the wedding, okay? And they walked down the steps. And that's all I know at that time. It didn't appear, and I'm not saying it's not. All I asked is someone inspected it, other than you guys, that's all.
Jerry, yeah, he went through and looked at
There's
it.
nothing wrong with asking that question.
Yeah, oh no, I didn't say there was, but I tell you, I'm not a contractor, but when you walk on that floor, I'm telling you, if too heavy, and I'm gonna, no offense, I'm not a little boy either, but if Dutch would have stepped on the same board between them floors, you know what would have happened? We'd have went through the floor. I don't know if you remember that or
I'm
not.
just saying that.
It was bad. It really was. But our intentions was to build it back, but what was the new one gonna cost us?
480, I think. I'd have to pull a bid package.
I mean,
That was just for the
completely.
base, that was just part of
That's
the
just
baseball.
I know.
basis.
Yeah.
It was well over.
Oh, it's well over $1 million for the full project.
Yeah.
480 was the
Yeah, but
base.
it seemed like a lot of money right after that, no matter what, right? Were you planning on doing it? We ran short of money or what? I'm just asking a curious
The
question.
project estimates for phase one were 300,000.
Mhm.
But the actual bid cost came back at 480 was low bid. So the commission had absolutely set 150,000 aside
Mhm.
for the project. And we had secured 150,000 from Land Water Conservation Fund, but we were 180,000 short.
And we didn't have the money.
So we
Right, I'm
don't.
not, and but what I'm saying, there were plans initially, and had.
Yes.
Yeah.
But someone had said to me one time, actually in the paper, what could you give $150,000 that you had? It was in the newspaper. Says, wait, did you do anything? It was in the newspaper. I mean, what it said is, what could you have done with the 150,000? So you had 150,000, right? And we
150, we had 300.
You had 300,000, right? You put down. So the question is, what could you have done with 300,000? It was in the middle.
I don't know what we could have done.
I mean,
But the problem is, the grant that we had for 150, and then we was matching with 150, was based on certain plans. And those plans, we got bids for
I
480,000.
understand it.
So we couldn't change the plans without changing our grant.
I understand that too. But what I'm saying, when somebody lists that, it brings curiosity, so people ask. I don't have a problem coming here and asking a question, all right, because I don't like gossip, all right? I don't like a lot of stuff like, if I come here and ask a question, I get an answer, that's where it goes. I don't like people running their mouth about me, that ask the question here in front of everybody, okay? Make sure it's not a problem, and I find the answer out, does that make sense?
But you're asking, what else could we, kept the 300,000, where else could we have used it to improve?
What could we have done over there with
Yeah,
300,000?
yeah. It was something.
I don't know.
I was shocked by it.
We
Yeah.
did have discussion about that, but any true $150,000 seems like a lot of
It's
money,
not a lot of money.
but
not.
it's not.
No, it's not.
And that's what, even if we would have given back the grants and we're gonna do something with this 150, we could not have had any commercial contractor come in and have done anything. And the whole point in what our planning was that it was an amphitheater that 150 years from now would still be standing there and no one's feet would be going through the floor. we didn't wanna put $150,000 into a wood structure that'll be rotted in 40 years. Whatever we do, we want it to be a
I don't
permanent
think
fixture.
sense, you know, because I'll tell you what, $1 million is gonna have a lot of money. If you don't have 5 million in your account, you might not retire. And you'll give me other FOIA requests, right?
The-
And, yeah, and the other thing, I'm sorry,
Sorry, on your first FOIA request, that's not a valid request. The answer to a question, there has to be you have to be asking for a document that already exists, and there's no documentation
okay,
of why a selection wasn't
well,
made,
that's
so.
fine. I just wanted to back note in writing.
Now, I do have a question, you can listen to this. If, say for example, and I've often thought about this, but I never did ask it before. We had $300,000 laid by. That's counting the grant money. But the whole project came in at 480. If we would have done $300,000 on that project, would the grant still been good?
We had to meet the
We had to
minimum
meet, that's what
specifications
I'm
of what was
at. That's
submitted.
what I thought. I was under that impression.
And that was that grant wasn't like, trust me, if you knew the amount of work that went into that grant over that 2-year period, the deed restrictions, the legal fees, the grant writing fees, we received grants for the design of the structure. There was a ton of money and a ton of effort put into that project by me personally. And
I know.
I hated to see it die, but it was also just not feasible.
I understand that, too.
Yeah.
Okay, but I can answer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's really answer.
Now, if we had a little bit of your 5 million that you retired on, we could use some stuff up there.
5 million don't last forever either.
Huh?
5 million doesn't last forever either.
No, it don't last forever, but we could put that foundation in.
Let me tell you what, 5
No,
million,
no,
somebody,
Valley, I'm just teasing.
I'll tell you what, though, it's sad to say. You gotta have a lot, it doesn't make a difference, 100,000 isn't a lot of money, it's 300,000 is a lot. I mean, it isn't.
Well, it's a lot of money, but it don't go very far. It don't go as far as you think.
You might have told me, I know.
I know, it's,
And then, let me ask you one question since we're talking, and I'll get out of here. 911. I read it once. You pay your guys $25 a day when they're off in case you get an emergency. Was that it? You did.
$25 a day.
I thought-
Not everybody. There's one call person per 24-hour period.
Okay, so it was one person. Okay, thank you very much. All right, well, so-
now, before you leave, the 4-year request that you asked for,
yeah,
that one,
yeah, he told me.
oh, you don't,
He just answered it.
oh, you didn't ask one through Lauren. I
I know, it did
misunderstood.
go through one. It went through.
Oh, okay, but I meant from her. I
A
misunderstood.
FOIA has to be for a document that already exists.
Okay.
It can't be for a question, like you can't be forced to answer a question.
I
He
don't
did say
remember.
that.
I can't remember.
I'm not trying to-
I didn't understand, because if I put it on somebody that's not here, but I was
you're-
thinking that he said he.
You're good. Now, you don't need nothing else answered?
Well, I just wanted, so what you're telling me, you have to do a form, right?
No,
So you can take.
it has nothing to do with the form.
Okay.
FOIAs can't compel an elected official to answer a question. A FOIA is for the government to produce a document that already exists. There is no document that says why they didn't choose you, so there's nothing to provide.
Oh, that's.
They'd have to be compelled, well, I mean, they could answer it, but a FOIA can't compel someone to answer questions, only to provide or produce a document that already exists. It also can't be used to force us to produce a document that doesn't exist currently. It's not meant to be a burden to the government, it's meant to be the ability for existing documentation to be produced to a citizen.
So like ethics committee, you got ethics commission, but you also got to aware of conflict of interest.
We got two
Conflict of
people,
interest is a lot.
you know, we do have 2 people that's not in the squads, that's on the ambulance authority.
Just, what I asked was simple, okay?
Yeah,
I wrote, and it said,
I didn't see it.
it said, you're member at large, right? The member at large has no conflict with anybody, has nothing to do with anybody, okay? Like, there's no ambulance authority, period, all right? And there was nothing wrong with me, especially since my condition,
no,
okay?
there wasn't.
I spent a lot of money with the ambulance, I mean, either record taker or what, you know? Don't have any time for them. They should get money. They should get money.
Who, the ambulance squads?
Well,
Well, you
people-
mean on their levy?
Well, on the firefighters and all that, you know,
Yeah.
it takes a lot, they do it a lot.
Yeah, it needs to go up, there's no doubt about it, the way the price of stuff is.
Thing about it is, a lot of people see it one way,
I know they do.
but I see it the right way.
I agree with what you,
Right.
everybody sees everything the wrong way until they need it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, makes no sense. Like you said, ethics has their thing, but there also a conflict of interest also exists. There's some people forget,
I
and
agree
that's
with
a
you.
hassle. But we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally, or, Valerie, take care of yourself.
Hey, don't worry, I'll be back.
How's your husband doing?
He's out planting trees.
He's out planting trees.
Yeah.
Don't work him too hard now.
Hey, that's it, funny, don't leave me. I get to do what I want sometimes.
All right, well, you take care of yourself.
Oh, come on.
Be safe.
You'll see me again.
All right, be safe. Okay, now the partial disbursement of county excess funds, we don't, we.
That was for the new free radios. There was discussion at the 2 meetings prior, if we had any excess funds at the excess levy. I did call that for levy.
So talking to her, there is some excess money in there. And we thought that maybe if we could disperse 5,000 to every fire department. And then the 4 that's in with this radio thing, they can take the 2,200 or whatever it is. Each one of those could put into the
Put in,
radio,
get it.
take care of the radios.
8,800.
Yeah, 80, yeah, something like that. I talked to Dustin Amtire, New Creek, who sent the request for the excess levy
Now,
fund
let
money
me-
in,
let
and
me-
he's good with
Let
that.
me ask you a question. I'm just, food for thought. Now, should we send all of that excess levy? Well, it's-
We're only just doing just enough.
Yeah.
I just felt
saving some
I'm
back.
saving money for the fourth quarter and the first quarter,
Yeah.
because in case there's issue with the distribution, make sure that we have that.
I agree.
So I felt that there was enough in there to do 5,000 at this time with cushion.
So we do still have a little cushion.
Yes.
That's what I was basically
Yes.
going for. Okay, good deal.
I'll make a motion to disperse 5,000 to every fire department. With the intent that the 4 involved in these radios will take their part of their share and give it to the radio, that cover the radios.
That's a total of 55,000 then, right? Could have left, I second.
No,
That's-
5 is 45.
No, there's
You're
11,
going with the-
there's 9
You're
EMS.
going with the fire company.
Fire company.
Fire company.
Oh, I thought
This is
fire
fire
company
company.
with the
Excess
squad.
levy.
I was
No,
thinking
this
it's
is fire
55,000.
I second that.
And I approve that also.
Now, we already cut their quarterly distribution, so we'll cut these, and we hadn't called them yet to pick up their quarterlies, because that way they can pick them both up at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
And I did announce that at the New Creek Fire meeting, that this is what we were looking into. So I don't know if you've updated Dustin since then.
I talked to him last week before their meeting,
Okay.
and then I forgot to even, it wasn't on the agenda, and I completely forgot about bringing it up, so.
Okay, we need to discuss and approve a transfer of funds from general county to
Court
project.
security.
Yeah, court security first.
Oh, I already marked that off. You got down to it. I'm sorry. Yeah, court security grant.
We have a meeting next week with the statutory, court security committee that has to meet before we can submit. However, I talked to the sheriff and, Hotchkiss about, priorities for this year. The things that we're going to apply for, we're gonna do 2 separate projects. I talked to Arthur and he said that's the best way to do it. The first project would be to replace the existing carry access control system in the courthouse. That is the last building in the county that has the carry system. Everything else has been moved to ZK Teco. That includes 911, the Courthouse Annex Law Enforcement Center. And that's what we're putting in for part of the courthouse now. So that, to replace the existing carry system with ZK Teco is $13,744. So that's the priority project. There's a 90% chance that'll be funded. I talked to Arthur about it. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. The second project as part of the application will be for approximately $20,000, and that is to update the panic alarm system. The panic alarm system does work. There's no problems with it. But it's really difficult to update, and add buttons to. It's $20,000, but that makes it network-based. They can log into it with computer, add new buttons, remove buttons, change names, all that kind of stuff. It makes it much easier. The current system, you have to be using Windows XP to make updates to. Again, it does work though. There's no problems. It works perfectly fine. But it's really cumbersome to utilize. So And we can use our existing panic buttons and just add them to that system, so that saves us money, because those are $125 a piece.
Okay.
So that's it's like $19,963.
Gotta be done. It should be done there, shouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm not asking you all to spend this money. I'm asking for permission to apply for grant funds. for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's gotta be done. There's.
Oh, both these things are important, yes.
Yeah,
But
important.
we won't wait till after the security meeting next week, right, to make a motion?
You can sign the application, we can sign the
Tuesday,
resolution.
what day?
Tuesday, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's before the commission meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just want to put it on the agenda for next meeting then?
We can, I was just gonna have you all, it doesn't matter. I
We can
mean,
do it today if you want
Because
to.
the judges and everything would be interested.
yeah,
What if there's something that they really, really want?
to add to it?
I mean, we'll have the meeting and we'll talk to them, but these are the things that like, we have to have.
What's the
But we
deadline for
can,
the grant?
it's May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Maybe for the sake of just talking to the judges, maybe carry it over to the next meeting?
Well, we can go ahead and approve the resolution and then the application can just be done. Because the resolution doesn't say that we're applying for it, just gives Roger permission to sign this.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for Roger to sign that.
I second and I approve that also.
Just sign
And
it.
now this next Tuesday at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, this coming Tuesday at 10.
Here. I'm sorry, so next Tuesday, 4:30?
Yeah,
Wonder
Yeah.
why so much.
so, I mean,
To ask.
yeah, but I don't know, got a wrench thrown in and worked last night, so. I was gonna ask if we could move our meeting up next week to after this meeting. So that we can get it done and over with, because that night at 6 o'clock. Up at Kaiser High School,
Lauren needs to sign the back.
She signs the resolution.
up at Kaiser High School, they're having the opioid grant money we gave to the schools for $2,500. To have this guy come in and speak to the kids. And one of them's gonna be open to the public, and they're doing it next Tuesday at 6 o'clock up at Kaiser High School in the auditorium. And I really wanted to go to that, and that was during our meeting, so I wanted to move the meeting up. However, I'll go ahead and ask if we can move our meeting up to earlier in the day. And I'll also add in this that what I was told this morning is that my mother-in-law's funeral may be Monday and Tuesday. Or visitation Monday, possibly funeral Tuesday, so. Depends, I might not even be able to make it to the meeting either way, depends on what time we do the funeral and that kind of stuff. So I'll leave it at that, you guys decide what you wanna do, I don't know. They're meeting with the funeral director tomorrow. To hash everything out, I don't know how late we can change. the
Which
meeting
you
time.
know going to.
Well, if you guys agree to change the time, and then when they set the time, you can maybe see what works.
Yeah,
So if you guys
I'm
want to
good
make a
with it. We
motion
Still
to
like to
change.
try
the
to get to
time,
the 6 o'clock meeting at the middle,
We
at the
can-
high school.
That'll give us some playroom.
yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, if it'll help you out, yes.
I mean, I was thinking of just moving it to 3 o'clock, but we have another thing at 10, if we wanted to move it on back
Shouldn't
to
be more than an hour.
1 o'clock, 12,
1,
12:30.
I don't know how long
Yeah.
that meeting, that's court security.
How long do you think
If you have the commission meeting at noon, you'll definitely be safe. That meeting shouldn't last more than an hour, but you also just never know.
Okay.
It shouldn't last more than an hour.
I'm good with it. Whatever he needs, I'm
Do you
good
wanna
with.
do 11 or after lunch, either way?
Maybe do 11:30. Just in case, well,
Yeah,
well, if you do 11, then the meeting will have to be over an hour.
Yeah, Lauren will provide lunch. Just kidding.
or you,
Let's just do noon, and if you guys want to get something to eat, is that all right with
Let's
you?
wait, and see
yeah,
what
I'm
the,
good with.
we'll see what's pending, because if
Yeah.
it's doing
Yeah,
the,
I'm good with, I think we ought to give you. Yeah.
Pending
Be
at
good for the
noon.
school, and then you don't know what about your mother-in-law yet. I think we need to work with you there, definitely. Yes, I'm in favor.
I mean, you guys can have a meeting, I mean, you don't.
No, I think we ought to work with you there.
Well, Jason wants to go to school too anyways.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to that school.
So are you doing it at noon or what are y'all doing?
I'll make a motion, we do it at noon.
I second
that.
April 22nd, county commission meeting
I approve that also.
12 o'clock.
Okay. I know it's gonna throw a damper in some people's, but I'm glad.
That's also my birthday, just so you all.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Remind me, I'll get you something. to drink for your birthday. I'll get you a bottle of water.
Millions of dollars.
So Lauren, when I bring lunch, make sure you bring a cake too, all right?
I can't eat
It's my 30th wedding anniversary.
Oh.
Monday, or Tuesday, I mean.
Well, look at that. You'll get out of here on time to go do something.
No, I think I work Tuesday.
Okay, well, happy birthday and happy anniversary to you guys. Okay, now the general project, transfer of funds. from the general
Okay,
county to-
so I've been saying we're gonna go over this and I did, go through everything. There's really a lot here to talk about, my spreadsheets for you, just,
Oh my goodness.
Listen here, mister. Bigger font, please.
Yeah, really.
well, I was
I'm
on
like-
one, I didn't have tabloid paper.
I already have highlights.
Don't can't you upgrade the size of the print?
Not to get it all on one page, and I hate having multi-page spreadsheets.
You could have pulled your columns out.
Well, there's, yeah, well, everybody's
I'm gonna tighten them up a little bit and double. Oh, man, now we got college print in there with a little print.
Gee,
Good Lord.
Okay,
Even with
so,
glasses on, you can't read that.
No, I can't read that either. Very good.
so I wasn't down here, I was at 911, I don't have tabloid paper there.
Which one are you looking at first?
Let me pull it up. So the first one I'm gonna look at is the simplest one, which is the interest payments. It's one of the big front ones.
One of them?
Yep, that just shows, since the beginning of the project, we've paid out $201,270.13 in interest.
Okay.
Wow, that's what we've paid to First United, for the interest payments
More or
on
less
construction loan.
15 months.
Is the interest pretty much going?
No, it's his only beginning.
What's that?
His only beginning.
Yeah, but this is a much higher interest rate
Yeah.
than USDA.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
This is-
is all of our interest pretty much used up?
No, it just keeps compounding every month.
Yeah, but are we down to where
Oh, do you mean the balance on the construction loan?
the interest that you're paying this out of the interest, right? Interest paid. How much interest do we have left of you, you know?
The interest just keeps increasing.
Every month, that's about what it amounts to?
Yeah, yes. So
Yeah, that's how
next
much
month
we-
it'll probably be
That's how much we're
23,000.
paying in interest.
Yeah, but we're paying on the.
Yes.
Yes, that's what we're paying to First United for their interim financing.
Oh, I got you, okay.
Yes, yes.
So in 15 months, we've paid $201,000 in interest.
Wow.
For the loan. So the next one that's kind of simple to look at is information. It's the one that says fund source, total expended and allocation amount. So you can see what our fund sources have been for the project thus far. American Rescue Plan, we put 1,885,307. General County, we put 497,865, and then, additional county cash was 233. But the all important number on here is we have 949,000 left to draw down from First United.
I'll tell you, I know you guys might disagree with me. I don't see any more of them. That's very depressing.
Well, I'm just letting you all know what's happening, so. The page with all of the colors, I'm not gonna go over it, but you,
Wait, back up to this one, you're still on funding source.
uh-huh,
So construction in the loan, 256, contingency not in the loan, 392.
so we've gotta talk about that. The 392 is just, that's not really anywhere. So that's the two
That's
topics.
money
from
we
that.
gotta come up with.
No. I'm gonna go over the
Okay.
contingency in detail in just a minute.
Okay.
The spreadsheet that has all of the colors on it, that just shows each bill we've paid on the project. And then the color determines the fund source. So that just shows what those bills were, who they went to, that kind of
I
thing.
get home, I'm gonna make a sign glass.
And then
Boom.
the final piece, is the change order log. It's one of the legal ones without the color. And this is the one that has the information we'll need to chat about. So far, you all in the building commission have approved 6 change orders totaling $700,700.62. Now, don't get excited about that. So the first change order number 1 was the sheriff's office, $260,307. We transferred that out of ARPA. That's already been covered. It already went into the fund and it's already came out. Change order 2 for 56,000, it comes out of contingency. Change order 3, 33,754 comes out of contingency. Change order that doesn't have a number but is labeled Montum 3,900, that's contingency. Tom has not charged us for things that need to be changed with the exception of the family court suite. And that's because that whole area completely changed and he had to pay his engineers to do the new electrical work and stuff. So he charges $3,900 for that. Change order number 4, and this is why this is on the agenda for today. I had in the notes here, and I looked back at my budget notes, we agreed to pay this $98,410 out of general county. And it was in the budget last year. I'd have to look at what line we put that in.
987 is where we're putting all the extra money right
Yeah,
now.
so we agreed to begin with that would come out of general county. That is what the Supreme Court's paying us back.
And what was that?
Oh, okay,
This is the family court suite change.
but we get reimbursed.
Well, the lease went up substantially, so yes, their payments are coming in on
The
that.
payments are,
Yeah, it's amortized over 7 or 10 years. I'd have to look back at the exact agreement.
yeah, I think, yeah, I remember that.
But we did say we pay that out of general county. So we need to approve a transfer of $98,410 from general county to the project fund. And then change order number 5 will also come out of contingency. It's $112,356.40. And then change order, and all of this is going to get a little more convoluted as we get to the end of the project. But change order number 6 is for $135,376.10. Now, $61,791 of that comes out of Courthouse Facility Improvement Authority. We will be reimbursed for it. And then the remainder would come out of contingency. Now,
Is that the judge's suite?
that is the judge's suite, yes. That is, and there was some other stuff in there too.
We'll say, I don't remember the judge's suite being that high.
It wasn't. The judge's suite was like 78,000 or something. I can tell you exactly what was on that change order. Let me pull it up here.
What's the cost without sheriff first floor? What is that?
That is just showing like the change orders, it looks like we've made. Like, it looks like change orders, we spent a ton of money, it's because we have, but that is, if we wouldn't have added the sheriff's office first floor, what our change orders would be.
Okay.
So that's just a subtracting. That was the Second Circuit Judge Suite, which was $77,239. The annex exterior wall metal for $34,000. The shelving out of Lauren's office for $18,500. And then there was something for a transformer room lights and a condensate pump and ductwork relocation. So that was, 77, 1,400, 33, almost 34,000, 18,000 and 4,400. That's what that total change order is. So our contingency so when we did this, and all of it's been so long ago, but we didn't want to immediately put a bunch of county cash into the project fund. So we lowered our contingency costs substantially below recommended numbers. So we only put 256,000 into the loan for contingency.
What's the 280,192 next to that?
That is what we've spent.
Okay.
So that's, yeah. So we are over our contingency by that 280 minus 256. So,
24,000.
yeah, $24,000. So what we really need to do at this point is go ahead and transfer that 98 and an additional 24. And then any changes we make from here forward are general county expense changes, nothing else will be able to be charged to contingency because. And I wanna say that contingency was only like 3%, I'd have to run the number and you're supposed, and they, USDA wanted 10%. But we did the 3%, so we didn't have to put a bunch of county cash in. But so that's where we are with this.
So what's the 392 not in the loan contingency?
Well, that was, and we didn't budget for that though. When we talked about this initially, that is the numbers we discussed, is that 392 is our portion of contingency we should expect in case, just in case. So actually, we've done pretty well on contingencies as far as changes, because that, if you did that math, that would probably come out to 8% of the total loan, because you're supposed to have an 8% contingency. Is that what those two are together? $600, yeah, that would be
Pretty close.
yeah, it's 9%, so, yeah. That's. Again, it's been so long since we've done the budget and stuff, but that's the number I put in that we had discussed, like, that's what your contingency should be.
But other than that, we're looking pretty good with the money that we have available for finishing that.
I look for us, when I talked to Tom about it the other day, he thinks absolute worst case scenario. We might have one more change order, but we should not have any more change orders. We shouldn't be on the hook for more than another 100,000, an absolute max. He said that would be the absolute high end he would expect.
So we got our loan and everything, we got plenty to take care of. Or we got enough to take care of.
No, that's what I'm saying. Any change orders from this
Anything
point
else?
forward.
I know, but
That's coming out of general count.
yeah, I understand that, but I say, we got enough to take care of everything. We're in pretty good shape.
Well, we need to approve this 24,000. right?
Yeah, the 98 and 24 need transfer.
But how are we with the loan? We got, how's the money on the loan itself?
Excluding new change orders, we're fine.
That's
It's
what
just
I'm
if we
saying.
have the additional change orders, yeah.
But, we're good with the money to, when everything gets done, when everything's paid up, that $7 million loan, how much are we gonna have?
The whole 7 million,
The whole 7 million.
plus 122 of our own so far, without any more change orders.
Yeah,
Well, right now, we're,
but we're in pretty good shape.
The contingency's been much less than what would have been typically expected,
Okay.
but it's still a substantial cost.
Oh, it's not cheap.
I have a question too. Have you looked at the concrete?
I have pictures on here
Outback.
and I've meant to send them to the commissioners.
Back of what room? Have you?
Outside, on grass, I just.
I've been told I haven't looked at it yet, because I really didn't want to, but. I don't
Brand new
care.
concrete.
You can scroll.
Where's that?
but right now, we're at 7.124 million in the project.
That's their,
Not really.
next to the.
I'd have to like,
Everywhere.
cause we have.
Yeah,
other
it's-
money
it's
for
round
other
back, it's round back.
stuff.
Is it all round front too?
Well,
Well, who?
Nelson.
the 120 is just new commitments.
It looks like you only poured acid or something.
Well, we poured it in the rain.
Yep.
That's not good.
I didn't really want to talk about it on YouTube.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't wait. I
Uh,
got a couple.
I
things.
did take those pictures with the intention of sending to you all, and it's just slipped.
When,
But we do need to, I want to discuss what y'all want to do.
yeah, let's wait till you go, because I got a couple things for you.
I don't want to smear a local business one.
So we're moving 122,000,
Let me see,
one
it's-
twenty-two, 552, 62. And we're transferring it to
the project,
the project fund, 246 or 247,
whatever you pay Fair Chance out of.
038, the building fund. Building commission fund, okay, so there's also $4,639 in the project fund, 246. And initially, I think that was the cost of something for John Athey that got paid out of a different fund, maybe 038, and it should have been paid maybe out of 246. So there's still a balance of that 4,000 in there, I don't know.
We'd have to look at it, but we don't have any outstanding expenditures to anyone other than non-home and Fair Chance. So you could actually just go ahead and transfer it over to the 038 project account that we're paying Fair Chance out of.
Okay, but if we don't need that fund, we can, if we can get that one closed out maybe before the first of the fiscal year. And
Which fund is it?
it was one of the first funds, because there was like 6 funds open in the beginning, but we didn't need all 6 funds.
Well, Sally and I had a discussion about, she had asked me about some of the funds. And because she said there's a building project fund and then there's the USDA project fund. And we've been paying the payments out of the
Building commission.
right project fund, not building commission USDA fund. And I'd have to look,
There's
there
a
was
building
something
commission
weird.
reserve and there's a building commission USDA. Then there's a building, then there's the project reserve and project. There's like, I'd say in all, there's like 6 accounts open, but we don't need all. I was gonna say, I wanna clean some of them up before the end of the fiscal year.
We'd have to look.
So that way we don't carry them into another fiscal year.
Cause I guess prior to, what did we pay the first bills out of that was our responsibility prior to drawdowns? Did you pay that out of like the county commission?
That would have been 247.
And that's an 001?
No,
It's an 038.
no, it's 247, project fund. That is the fund. It's a separate fund. We have like 6 funds involved in this project.
Okay, so the 247 is where our money for the USDA had to go then. But then I guess when the building commission started doing drawdowns, we moved over to the 038 fund. Okay, yes, so the 247, as long as everyone's comfortable moving the additional funds over to 038, we shouldn't need the 247. Because they just care about, like I had to send them statements showing the money was there before they would release bond counsel. And it had to be in that specific fund at that point, but yeah, we probably would have no need for it anymore. Because our match has already been met.
But yes, if we keep them active, then we have to carry them over into another year. So if we can clean those up for it.
What's the amount again? 122,000,
22,552.
562?
Yeah, 122, 552, 162.
Yeah. Okay, do I hear a motion?
So this will be money taken out now that will not be carried over to next year.
Don't know why we couldn't do none of that amphitheater. I know it makes people upset, but
So it should come out of 998 or 997. Go into the project fund,
Comes out of our general.
general account.
I guess we have to do it, right?
It's not optional, you guys have signed the
Yeah, we
change,
don't have a choice.
yeah. Yeah, the bills have to be paid.
I make a motion, we
Transfer the fund.
transfer the funds from the account numbers that you had mentioned.
I'll second. And I approve that also.
Reluctantly.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, but we don't have a choice.
So, is it possible, not this meeting, but just to know what the total cost of where we are, total cost of the bill?
Well, it depends on what you want included in it.
We'll do whatever we got in there so far. Everything,
I think you have all the information here, basically.
Yeah, it's
Just
just,
add it together, but
it seems like a simple question, but like,
yeah.
design started before I was even here. So we
Yeah.
started paying for design fees on some of it
Or
before I started.
Yeah, a long time ago.
And then like, there's all kinds of different things and like,
Citizens, they're throwing out numbers, well, we got 12 million into it now, we got 10 million into
We
it.
don't have that much.
I know we don't have that much, but that's the things that
I
said.
don't know what the total cost will be. You know that all?
there's no way to know without change orders, but I mean,
What do you, Russ, what do you think will 8 million? That's what I was gonna ask.
oh no, the project without change order was more than that. We borrowed 7.
I got what, 10 or 11 in it right now.
We got that much in it?
But the loan is for 7 million.
Good thing we had some money saved up here.
So we have 383.
What'd you say?
Yeah. it was-
Yeah. A lot of.
We have $1.8 million of the project, not counting other stuff we took out for this, came directly from COVID money. Get with me after the week, Jason, I can look, I can't break it down right now, we can definitely look.
Yeah, okay.
Oh. Well, we can do it next week if we need to, but I have another drawdown for CDBG-CB. He just, both just sent to me yesterday, we can do it next week, one more.
Well, we could do it today. Get it done.
It's not on the agenda, no on the agenda.
Oh, you didn't, okay.
Number 16.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, 16.
I sent them copies of 14 and 15.
Okay.
And the internet got back up Friday.
Okay. That's all I have on that one, and then,
Part-time employee.
yeah, I would like to, was thinking about our part-time person the other day who helps us out a lot. I realized we're paying her the exact same thing as what we pay a full-timer with benefits,
All
and
part-time people are $15
about 5 people,
for people more.
she's at 20.
Like,
I thought you said 25. Earlier to.
No, that's on call, that's a whole different thing.
That's,
Yeah.
on call when hourly.
Yeah, you're not talking, you
Yeah,
can't just play.
it's that efficient, because like.
now how's your on-call? Do they get X amount a day?
They get, well, that's what Lauren's asking, but no, so what we do now is an on-call person is assigned, and for each 24 hours they're on call, they get $25.
An hour or just 25?
Oh, total for the whole day.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, not an hour.
But some of them are.
I was thinking
is
per day.
12,
Yeah, because some of them only, like, they'll do on-calls for half of a shift if they pick it up, that kind of.
and that's $12.50, and then, but if then they do two, then I gotta know that that's $25 if they do. Or I'm gonna know that that's $50, you know?
Yeah, no, we could definitely do it hourly, I'd be off that would go.
Okay, so that would be easier for us to set them up too.
And Jason, you weren't here, actually, I don't think Dutch was here for it either. The on-call, the reason we did that is 'cause when people call off, it's always stressful for people to like, because then we have to force someone to come in. Where if we just do an on-call, they would rather know that on their 4 days off, every other rotation, 2 days, if someone calls off, they're the one covering. And like the regulations are pretty loose, like obviously you can't consume alcohol or drugs, but they don't consume drugs anyways. But you can't consume alcohol and there's a 3-hour callback. So like you can still go places, but you have to be able to come in within 3 hours of our call to you. But that's just so it's not like every time someone goes to do something with their family and we get a call off, they get stuck covering where you know these 2 days, like I shouldn't make plans I can't break. Kind of thing. So it gives them more flexibility in their life, even though it seems more constricting. It was something they all wanted so that they would know when they can spend enforcement. Because there have to be butts in seats, it's not optional. Anyways. I wanted to raise our part-time rate, because like I said, we're paying her at the same time as the full-timers. And a full-timer makes $30 an hour to come in, plus the benefit expense. So I wanted to raise it to $26 an hour. Since there's no benefits or anything, it's literally just the wage and then the social security.
How many hours a day they put in?
This is only for one person.
I know.
It's just a little-
That's what how much is it?
How much is he working now?
How many hours do they put in that part-time for a day?
They would work at 12, just like anybody else.
How often are they working now? How often are they coming in work?
I'd have to look at the schedule. It's only a couple times a month at most. But if I pay a full timer to cover the exact same thing,
Yeah.
it costs me upwards of $40 an hour with
Yeah.
benefits.
So there's an overtime rate.
Right, so I was just trying to get it closer to,
Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking. Of course, I don't care. It don't make any difference. I mean, you got the money in your budget to do it, don't you?
I mean, it comes out of our overtime line.
Your budget.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking $25 is what I was thinking, and that would give them even 300. That's why I asked you how many hours. I don't care.
Whatever you all want.
Whatever I'll go with the 26. I mean, I don't care. I don't want to cheat them.
I just wanted to ask, because our full-time rate's at $20 an hour, and we've always paid part-timers more than the full-time rate, because they don't get any benefits.
You don't think they'll get upset if they go 6 hours, $6 more,
Who would get upset?
the full timers?
No, I asked them if they would care if that wage would be raised, and they don't.
What do you guys think?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm just trying to wrap my head around all the overtime and the salaries and stuff like that.
Are you going to bring a budget into us or?
Yeah, I'll bring it at the end of the year. Mine doesn't, Mountain One didn't even used to have a budget. It's actually done. I might just need to double check it.
Okay.
But, we didn't even used to have a budget. There's no like deadline for that to be submitted, but I can do that definitely in May.
So is there a motion on that, Grace?
I'll make a motion.
Put the amount in.
Which one?
Second, it. They're
Okay.
25,
Oh, you're.
So
making a
25?
motion For 25.
didn't you say?
I said that, but he asked for 26. I said
25 is fine.
25 would
I'm good with 25.
be even.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying to do that. I'm just asking you to put the amount in the motion.
So 25 for the part-time rate for 911.
Yep.
Jason, you second that?
Yeah.
And I approve
Okay,
that.
and what about changing the on-call to an hourly dollar per hour?
That's fine. I mean, if you want to do that right here, that's fine.
Okay.
I have zero problems with that. I don't think it's kind of an issue.
How much would that, what would that be?
It's $1 an hour for being on call.
Yeah,
It's
right
basically what we're looking at.
Oh,
If
okay.
they're on call, broken down into 12-hour increments.
Yeah,
So like, if they're on call once, then that's $12.50. If they're on call twice, it's $25. But then like, we're doing payroll, however many they put, then we gotta figure out, is it this amount? But if it's dollar hour per hour, then if they put 12, we know it's 12, it's 24, 24.
That makes sense.
It's a lot less.
and if they do get called in, then they get paid their regular.
Their overtime rate, yeah.
Okay. So I hear a motion to make that $1 an hour.
And does that happen quite often? Where they get called in?
It just depends. Like during the winter, it definitely does when everyone's sick, but it just depends.
Do I hear a motion on changing that part-time pay increase?
Well, the part-time
Twenty.
doctor, Dutch made the motion.
Yeah, for $25.
Jason, but then the on-call rate.
But the on-call
Dollar
rate
per
would be
hour.
$1 an hour.
Yes, I second that.
I guess I'll make a motion.
Okay,
So I thought you already did.
No, I was like, you go ahead,
Those
Jason.
both go into effect with the next pay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, the last meeting, this was kind of overlooked, sorry about my absence. So this is actually you have a copy, it's the last page in your thing. The heirs of the Robert Wine no. The heirs of the Roberta Wine
Oh, yeah.
estate are asking, that the executor be removed, so we need to set a hearing. I had this on the agenda for last night, got missed, but we still think the 13th should work okay, and if we do it around 10 o'clock.
That'll work. Are they from Burlington? The wine family from Burlington?
Don't know.
I gotta run in here to the restroom. You said it, I'm good with it, whatever you guys.
And, I'm good with that.
And don't.
The commission meeting
Yeah.
date, it's just,
Run off. I gotta talk to you sometime, couple of things.
it's just for a regular meeting.
Thank you.
That work for you all?
Yes.
Yeah,
We have a motion?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
We hear that here.
That's gotta be the most confusing part of y'all's job, because I've been here a minute and I sit here and listen to that stuff and I'm like,
Well,
I know not them knows to do
so
this.
does that guy want more of it?
No, this is
I
their requesting.
the whole time last time, give us.
We can't remove people.
Two people argue over the
Well,
same thing they agree
Sometimes
upon.
it's motivation.
Okay.
Sometimes it's moving forward and sometimes they resign. Oh. The other thing is, the cornerstone to come about, talk about dental vision, dates that are available that they can come talk to employees. I said it'd probably be better if they just went office to office. So right now, the only dates that we have available between them and us, the courtroom, or the court schedule is May 5th, 15th, 16th, 20th, and 21st. Those are the only dates that we don't have a conflict with. So, we'll pick one of those dates, get them to come talk to the employees.
And I've been talking to a lot of people about it, 911 and stuff, and they've had some questions and I emailed them, so.
Between their schedule and our schedule, those are the 5 dates we have available in May. April's out. There's 10 days
When is enrollment?
in May.
Yes, this spring, yeah.
That's what I was thinking too, the sooner the better. That way if there's questions, but, well, I mean, it doesn't, it's a new plan, so technically we have until July 1st.
Right, but our disenrollment from the Association of Counties.
I got an email. Or you wanna, so you need an invoice from,
We'll go. Kansas.
okay, you'll take care of that for Terrence. All right, I'll let you know you'll get that.
Or like, you guys are going.
Oh.
Oh, you need a motion for bill from.
Yeah, 911, I got that.
I'll make a motion, we pay the accounts payable.
I second
And I
that.
approve that also.
Purchase orders?
And purchase orders.
I think there was a couple.
I second that.
Now, this estate's gonna be at 10 o'clock on the 13th.
If that works for you all.
That works good for me. Okay. Do I hear anything else?
We're going through and we're trying to clean up these old outstanding checks and any outstanding invoices. We're trying to get as much.
Do you want, reports today or just wait for next?
Yeah, we just wanna wait until next Tuesday and let them all together.
Okay, you can take us off there before everybody leaves. I got 2 things to bring up to you.
Do you guys want a motion to adjourn?
And
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second
And
it.
I approve that also.